Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about Amberlynn Reid's newest video and why it's her most frustrating video yet.
When I'm on track or I'm losing weight, the comments are really positive, but then when I come on here and I'm like, oh no, I binged or I gained weight because of binging or something to that extent, the positive comments go away.
Yes, Amber, that is exactly how systems of rewards work. When you do good things, you get good things. When you don't do good things, you don't get good things. And I'm pretty sure that when you are still on track, that there are still negative comments. And on the flip side of that, when you are off track, I know that you still get supportive comments because you tell us. You tell us all the time. Like people are messaging you on Instagram, telling you good things, giving you good thoughts.
We support Amberlynn only when she's on track, but not when she's off a track.
No, there are people who will always support you, and there will always be people who do not support you, regardless of whether or not you are on or off track.
If you have two binge eaters and one is on the thinner side and one is like my size, why does the thinner binge eater get more support and understanding and kind words?
I really hate when Amber poses these questions to get us to think about things because she just looks silly. Like, you know exactly why super morbidly obese people with binge eating disorder get treated the way that they do. You do. You know why. There's no need to compare it to people with other eating disorders. You know exactly why. And your audience knows why too. We know that fat phobia exists. You don't need to tell us. We know.
Through all stages, like in, I would say like 75-pound increments, I'm always treated differently. And the smaller I get, the nicer people are.
Well, this is confirmation bias if I've ever seen it. No, Amber, people do not treat you differently whether or not you gain or lose 75 pounds. And I'm going to tell you why. So she had mentioned in an earlier clip that she's been, like all types of different sizes. But the lowest that she's probably been around is around like 300. Let's just be generous with that. So she's around 300 pounds plus or minus 75 pounds, let's just say. So if you are 300 pounds, someone who is fat phobic, or even just a person in general, like a normal, average, everyday person, when they look at you, they are going to notice that you are morbidly obese. There's no denying it. You're 300 pounds. You are obese. But those 75 pounds are not going to make a difference to that person. If you're fat, you're fat, regardless of whether or not you have or lost those 75 pounds. So whether you're 300 or 375, either way, you are fat. And that's not going to change their treatment of you. When you lose 75 pounds, you're going to be more confident, you're going to be healthier. There are studies that say that when you lose weight, you are generally going to be more happy. I'm not going to dive into that. There are benefits to losing weight, and that will show externally. You are going to be more confident when you lose that weight. When you go out, when you meet people, you're going to be more welcoming, you're going to be smiling. In general, you're going to be happier than as if you've gained 75 pounds. When you gain 75 pounds, yes, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be upset, you're not going to be a fun time, you're probably bloated, probably not feeling as confident as you should be, so you're not going to feel great. So yes, it makes sense that why you think that when you lose 75 pounds, you're treated better. It's because you feel better. Whereas on the flip side, if you gain those 75 pounds, you're not going to feel your greatest. And that's what you're going to assume about the world, that they're going to be treating you differently because you've gained those 75 pounds. So no, Amber, people do not treat you differently whether or not you gain or lose those 75 pounds.
Talking about my binging or whatever, 9 times out of 10 it is thinner people and they just get so much support. So it's like, why don't I get that same type of reaction?
There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm going to answer your question in multiple parts. So first off, you know why. You know exactly why when you disclose your binge eating habits, why you do not receive support. You've said it before in the past. I know you know the answer. And the answer is in 2 parts, okay? So fat phobia. We know, you've said it. We don't disagree with you. Fat phobia is absolutely a thing. You get hate because you are fat. I absolutely agree with you, okay? Now, the second part of that answer is because of your audience. And you know your audience. They are typically not supportive of you at all. Okay, so that is exactly why you do not receive the same support as a thin person, a thin person with binge eating disorder would get. And now the second part to to your question is because you are overgeneralizing your audience with that person's audience, or even just like the YouTube audience in general. So the people who watch that person's video and the people that watch your videos are going to be two different subsets of people. So yes, it makes sense that the other person's comment section is going to be more supportive because they have a different audience than you do.
My channel has been very much reflected around the fact that I am super morbidly obese.
And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? This is your YouTube channel, what you chose to put on it, so you dictate what the YouTube channel is about. I'm not going to deny that a large part of your audience sees you for your weight, sees you for your obesity, but how your channel was structured, how it was made, was all on you. So I'm going to argue here that your channel is the way that it is because of you. And you can see that on YouTube there are quite a few morbidly obese YouTubers who do not center their content around their weight. So it is possible to be on YouTube and have different content that isn't surrounding your weight when you are morbidly obese. But the way that you made your channel has caused it to be the way that it is today. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
That my most viewed videos are ones where I'm showing my large body, or ones where I am eating mukbangs, ones where I am discussing, oh my god, I've gained so much weight.
Your most popular videos are dictated by you. You pick the thumbnails, you pick these incriminating titles to get people to click on your videos so that you can make money. Let's be honest here for a second, because you have admitted many times in the past you know exactly what gets you views on your channel. You've profited off of your obesity. So I think it's ridiculous that you have the audacity to make this YouTube video and say things like, my most popular videos are centered around my obesity. Yes, of course it is, because you made it that way. And the audacity of you to blame it on your viewers, on your audience, is ridiculous.
Success videos don't get that type of views at all.
What? Girl, what? What kind of measurement system are you using? Like, I don't mean to be cruel or rude. I'm just genuinely curious. What success videos are you talking about? I cannot recall any recent video with a success thumbnail or a success title. Like, what? What? Let's just say you even do have success videos. Those success videos are gonna be more recent. They're gonna be more new. Of course, they're not gonna have as many views as your old videos.
What will my channel be like when I do lose the weight? I get so many people telling me, you're gonna lose all your viewers once you lose weight and stuff like that. And that scares me, because if that's true, it's like, okay, well, this is my job. What am I gonna do then? I do have a fear of losing viewers because of success.
So I believe Zachary Michael has said this in the past, that he thinks, and I could be wrong, if Amber genuinely loses the weight, she would be more supported. She would have a better relationship with her audience. And I would have to say that I wholeheartedly agree. If I was watching amberlynn for her weight loss, I would have stopped watching a long time ago. I do not watch Amber because of weight loss. And in spite of this video, I actually do like Amber, and I do like her videos, and I do want her to succeed. So I do feel, and I'm just speaking for myself, that her fears are a little bit irrational. She does have a small subset of viewers who genuinely do support her. And I really feel that she could turn around her content and her viewers and her videos if she lost the weight. I think her fears are a little irrational. She absolutely would still have an audience. In fact, I actually feel like some of her old audience might come back. Either way, I genuinely hope that the fear of losing her income doesn't prevent her from losing weight. and it doesn't prevent her from making good health decisions.
For the community following me is that it'll change. The people who want to see me fail, who enjoy seeing me at almost 600 pounds, those people will go away.
I'm a little bit confused, and maybe I don't have my head wrapped around this right to even speak about it, but I think what she's saying here is really contradictory to what she had just mentioned about her income, because she does know, she's aware of the fact that her viewer base is made up of so-called hater nation, people who genuinely don't support her, people who want to see her fail. She said that they are essentially a main source of her income. Like, she didn't say it directly. She didn't say, hey, haters are what keeps the lights on in my house. No, she didn't say that. But what she's saying before, earlier, about her audience being a certain type of way, she knows that they're toxic. Now she knows that if she loses weight, because there's people who's watching her for that reason, once she loses the weight, those people are gone. So she's fearful of losing that audience. She didn't say it directly. She just said viewers. But that's what she means. And so here in this same breath, she's saying she wants those people to go away. So which is it? I know she's going to say that she wants a positive community, but just in this video, I ask Amber, do you want the majority of your audience, your viewers, who are toxic and unsupportive of you, to stay so that you have money, or do you want them to go away?
And I'm hoping that I will find a different type of audience.
The YouTube market is very saturated already with lots of content creators, so I don't know where you think you're magically going to get a new audience, because that's not how it's going to work. Your audience is your audience. You even mentioned earlier in the video that when you are on track, when you are losing weight, you have positive comments. Where did this positive community come from? All right, it came out of the negative community that you already have. The positivity is there. It's up to you to earn it. I do think with Amber's mental gymnastics and with her logic and confirmation bias, I genuinely do think that if Amber loses the weight and her community becomes positive, she's going to attribute that to fat phobia. She's going to say people are nice to me because I've lost the weight, but that's not true. That positivity has and will always be there. Her audience is going to stay her audience, and she's not going to get a whole new audience because she's lost the weight. Will she get some more followers, whatever, subscribers? Yeah, absolutely. But the bulk of her subscriber base, her viewer base, will remain the same.
At the height of my depression and the height of my weight, me at my biggest, me at my bedridden state, that is when I got the most views.
Well, gosh darn it, look at that. There's that confirmation bias again. First off, you having the highest views at the lowest point in your life had nothing to do with us. You didn't even tell us about your bedridden status until much later. So there's no correlation there. And in regards to your depression, I can't really speak for that. I can't really recall off the top of my head if you talked about your major depression at that time, but even if you had, I don't think that is a contributing factor to why people are watching you. So you're listing all of these things, the lowest points of your life, as reasons why your viewers were watching you, when that's not true at all. We didn't know about some of these things. It's not like you titled it in your videos as such. So it's not on us as the audience that you just happen to get the most amount of views during the lowest point of your life. We didn't know that. Another thing to consider is that you were gaining in popularity, in viewers, in views around that time because you were just getting popular. And when you reflect on your videos now and the low views, it's not because you're not at a low. It's not because you're not at a train wreck. It's because you've lost your viewership. You, in Karina Kaboom's words, you told us to go away, and now we have. And your live stream era, as you've admitted, didn't help your channel at all. You lost a good chunk of viewers back then. And that's where we are now. Comparing the two eras of your life doesn't make sense.
And me at my happiest and me losing weight and me being successful is when I get the least views.
Okay, so I'm still a little bit confused about what successful means to her, because I don't know what measurement of success she's using, but I'm assuming that she's considering herself successful now, and because she is losing a lot of weight and now she's not getting a lot of views, she's not really understanding, why aren't my views matching up anymore? Why aren't I getting views when I'm being successful? And there's more factors to that. Like I had just mentioned, you've lost a good chunk of your viewership. So yes, you're not getting the views that you used to, but it doesn't have any relationship to the fact that you are successful. So let me tell you some reasons why you've lost your viewers. First, live stream era. Easy. Second, wifey era. And I don't think I need to say any more than that. Your videos have become very mundane, so people are no longer interested. And on top of the mundane content, you are a broken record. You are not offering us any new content. Like, I've been watching you for 5 years and you are still saying, you're still doing, still having the exact same arguments and conversations that you were 5 years ago, and maybe even longer. But that's part of why I even made this video. Like, I've been watching you for so long. I've never participated in any of your communities, but it's just so frustrating as a viewer to watch this, to see you not learn from your mistakes, to learn from your past, to be introspective, receptive to feedback. Nothing, like any of it. It's really disappointing to see and hear. And maybe that's why viewers have left.
The community around the reaction channels is very, very negative, and I didn't create that at all. So
this is what I mean about the ownership, the introspectiveness, the ability to look in and reflect inwards, because you are not understanding still the implications that you have created for your community. You may not have directly made the reaction community, but you definitely do play a large role in it, in the sense that you are the one who is making that content. You are the one who is saying these statements. You are the reason why they are reacting and why you give them something to react to. I really wish there was some ownership on amberlynn's part in her role in the community, just to even say like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I shouldn't have done that. Instead, it's always deflected, it's always blamed on someone else, or just straight up denial. Like, that's probably it for me. I'm not going to react to the rest of the video. I don't really care for the rest of it. I definitely had a lot of thoughts, so I was happy to share them in this video. If you resonate with any of my sentiments, definitely let me know. If there was something that perhaps I could have worded better or I had incorrect, definitely let me know as well.